Institute in Oklahoma City, CSI and OKC. This is the final round of role plays to determine our champion. Our buyer is ready, playing Bill Stewart here, and in just a moment we'll have the first competitor come in and we will start the role play. So thank you for joining us. If you're streaming live, we appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again at CSI and OKC.
Come in.
Good morning, Mr. Stewart.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Jasmine Ferguson.
Nice to meet you, Jasmine.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me. Mind if I take a seat?
No, please sit down.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I've been here a couple times and really seeing that your company culture is great. You all are like a family here. I can see that. You all are like a family. And, you know, I just want to know, tell me a little bit about your story. You started this company, over 30 years ago?
Yes, that's right.
How'd you do it?
Well, you know, like you said, I believe in that family-based mentality. So we do create that culture here where everyone feels valued as employees, and that's kind of been my bread and butter.
Yeah, how do you make that come true? What are the things that you put into place here to make it really feel like a family?
We like to invest in our employees. We do a lot to give back to them and to their families. We try to give back to the community as well. So we do what we can to give back.
So what I'd say probably you all do a lot of volunteer work, maybe?
Yeah, when we can. We like to, yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, you've seen a lot of success here. You've done a lot of growth, especially being here in the Oklahoma area. Paycom as well has grown within the Oklahoma area.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, what are your strategies for growth?
Well, I mean, really, it comes down to the people. You hire good people, you support them, give them the resources, and let them, take the business to new heights.
Yeah. How do you find these good people?
A lot of hard work and a great recruiting team.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. So, if you could say, what are the things that you think are coming ahead, the challenges that you might see coming ahead facing you all?
Yeah, so we're getting ready to go public. We're working to take the company public here, and with that, it's going to put some constraints on our business, and we're going to need to make sure that all the systems we have in place are optimized to run smoothly, and that they connect and talk to each other to support our employee base and the businesses that we're in.
Mm-hmm. And so you said you're going public and you want to make sure that your systems are optimized. What does that look like for you all?
Just making sure we've got a good payroll and accounting system in place that can support the functions that we need to operate within our business. And then making sure we're being cost effective, efficient, if possible, saving money across the board would be great.
Yeah. What's your experience like from a CEO perspective? What's your experience like with payroll right now?
To be honest with you, our payroll system is outdated. It's what we've used forever, though, so no real headaches there. But it requires a little bit of manual work in terms of the time that it takes to get everybody paid. So we're a little bit heavy in terms of our payroll department. But again, we've been doing it that way for years, and it is what it is.
It's what it is. Sometimes you get comfortable. Things are working for you, and you're comfortable with that. So I'm wondering, how comfortable are you with change or with technological advances?
Yeah, I like to think I'm a forward-looking guy. I like to think I'm doing what's best for the business, but at the same time, I don't like to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
A CFO, I think you met Jay. He's pretty tight with the wallet as well.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, we only really change when things are immediate needs right in front of us.
Got it. Makes sense. So from your standard, from just the personal guy, what is it like for you with technology? What's your favorite app?
I still use a flip phone, so.
Still use a flip phone.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Like I said, I'm kind of old school, and it's been working for me. You know what I mean? So I haven't had a need to really update.
Okay, yeah. Got it. So what would kind of entice you to update to maybe an iPhone or, you know.
Here's the thing. Every time I go in there, the prices keep going up on those iPhones. So when you can get an iPhone down the same cost as my nice Motorola flip phone,
That's a good point.
then maybe I'll consider it.
That's a good point. You know, they probably have like the iPhone 5 or iPhone 6 probably at that price point now. You can
Maybe
go
I should
for
look
it.
into that.
You
yeah,
should look
maybe
into
you're right.
it. So I just kind of want to know from you, what are some other aspects of wanting to advance your company that you want to hit on?
I mean, really, like I said, I think we're in pretty good shape. We're about to go public with our IPO. Our technology could be a little bit better, but at the same time, we're making money. The employees are happy. And so, you know, there's not a whole lot of need on my side. I'm really taking this meeting because Jay said you did a pretty good job, and he's a hard guy to impress.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd hear you out.
Yeah, definitely. He gave me some pushback, and you know, I was able to learn from him, you know, what are the things that are important for you. And tell me a little bit about yourself personally. What are the things you enjoy? What do you like to do with your time when you're not in the office?
Yeah, I like to get outside. I like to enjoy the outdoors, work out a lot. I like to be out on the lakes or boating with my wife and my son. So just, you know, general outdoors guy.
So you said you enjoy working out.
I do.
Oh, what's your favorite thing?
Right now, I'm actually training for a half marathon, so I've just been running a lot. Yeah, doing a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, trying to keep it tight.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a half marathon, maybe doing that sometime soon. But sometimes running isn't my thing. You know, coming up the steps in the office can be a marathon for me.
I bet.
But how often do you really spend doing that, running those marathons, or
whenever I get time?
Whenever you get time.
It's not a lot of time.
Not a lot of
with
time.
all I got on my plate. So
yeah, makes sense. So, you know, what if I could tell you that I have a solution for you that allows you to spend some more time preparing for those marathons and a little less time in the office?
I thought we were here to talk about payroll. I mean, what?
That'll do it for your company.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. So I took Jay through this, but I put up a mock system for your company, and you see here that we've got a secure system. So you would log in with your client code, username, and your password. And I want to know from you, how important is security?
So that's interesting that you bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the family-based aspect here, right? I really view my employees as family, and they trust me kind of as the patriarch of that family. Right. So the thought of, it looks like, I mean, you just pulled this up online. Mm-hmm. The thought of putting my employees' information on a web-based system is something I'm pretty much not willing to consider. Yeah. And I've heard it all, right? Jay even told me you guys fancy encryption stuff. But if the CIA can be hacked, obviously you guys can be hacked too. You know what? And so I would, I'm pretty much uncomfortable with that. Yeah,
I definitely understand that. I'm glad you brought up that concern. So our company, we use the same system. So I go through this payroll.
Sure.
Because we value family here, I wouldn't put my family through anything that I wouldn't put myself through.
Yeah.
I use the system. I trust our system to use my personal information. We've never had a data breach. You want to know why that is? Because we use a system. Our program is formally audited with the ISO 27001 and ISO 901 standards.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
You've heard of the White House, right?
I have.
Same system they're using.
Okay.
You know, our president is really, really safe in there. Yeah. It's really safe. We're using that same system because we value our clients as our own family. We value our employees as our own family. I don't want to put you all through anything that we don't think is safe enough. Yeah. And that's why we have this system. And you said you want to stay up to date with technology, things like that are advancing. That's why we have to do this. Tell me the experience that you have with your payroll. Is it manual?
There's a lot of manual process in there. Yeah, it takes us a little bit of time and good amount of man hours to get people paid. So I want to circle back to the web-based system, though. I think that's great. I'm glad you guys are encrypted, but we know things happen. I'm a worst-case scenario kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So tell me, if we do get hacked and I have a data breach here, is Paycom gonna make me whole, or are you guys gonna help me out, or do something to fix the problem? How's that work?
Yes. So we have processes in place for if that were to happen, because we are proactive. Mm-hmm. We don't want to be reactive. So we have processes in place. We actually communicate with you all when you're transferring over to our services. We communicate that this is what's going to happen from Paycom. We're never going to tell you we're never going to ask for your information to send over email, because we know that's not secure. Sure. We're not going to send you an email asking for certifications to change some things within the system. We're not going to do that because we know it's not secure. So we say that if you get these emails or you get some suspicious calls or things like that, that you notify our direct IT person so we can nip that right in the bud.
Okay. Sounds like you guys have taken a lot of steps to be secure there. That does make me
Definitely.
feel a little bit better. So,
Definitely.
okay, cool. What else? What else do we need to talk about?
Yeah, so you want me to go ahead, and I want to allow you to kind of use the system. So what I did with Jay, I
Okay.
showed him a little bit of our payroll process. So go ahead, click that process payroll and see what that looks like.
All right.
Yep, so you said that you do some manual checks, or you do all of it manually.
It's a little 50-50.
Okay.
We have some people that need to be paid via direct deposit, but I'll be candid. I've got some unbankable employees. I mean, their credit's probably like a negative 400. So
Makes sense.
we're going to need to get them paper checks every 2 weeks. Yeah.
We totally understand that, and we provide that opportunity. So we have our system where we can do the direct deposit, but you see right there, you can also do manual checks.
Okay.
So if you need to batch and do some 50% manual, some direct deposit, we have that option for you.
But you can do it all through the system.
All through the system.
Oh, okay.
And the great thing about the system is that it's a single database.
Sure.
So once you put your employees' information here, you don't have to do it multiple times. You don't have to come in and spend those extra hours putting all that information back in, because it's already there for you.
So when you say single database, you mean I can get rid of this server room I have in my basement?
You can get rid of it.
Wow, that would be solid. Okay.
Yes, you can definitely get rid of it, because technology, we don't need all that bulky, all the servers. We don't need that anymore.
Well, I need room for a couple ping pong
You need
tables and some
room.
shuffleboard courts. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, to get rid of those servers would be great.
Getting rid of those servers will give you that room
Solid.
for that ping pong
I
table.
like it.
You want to build that family aspect within your office. You need
That's it.
them to have some fun.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
I think I saw on your website that you value work-life balance.
Yes.
That is one of the great things that's happening within this industry, especially within technology. They're providing an opportunity for the office to be a place for fun.
Okay.
You need that ping pong table.
Right.
So out with the servers in Paycom.
I do like that. Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
So, I want to show you from a high level. Go ahead and click on that reports tab right there.
Sure. Oh, sorry about
No,
that.
you're good. Go ahead and click on Employment Predictor. So we talk about, there we go. We talk about, treating them as family. You want to provide opportunities for your employees to grow.
Sure.
So you need to know, how are they doing currently and what do they feel about the company? So all the information that is put into the system, we use to track the retention of your employees.
Sure.
Are they really looking to come back to the company? Or do you have some employees that are at risk? So go ahead and just scroll down here. You're able to see how many of your employees are likely to stay, how many are at risk. That allows you then to use your two fingers. No, you're fine.
Cool.
Use your two fingers, scroll on down. That allows you to see who are the individuals that you need to keep an eye on. How can you treat them more like family so that they're able to continue staying at your company?
Okay, that's awesome. I do like that. I'll be honest though, I think all this kind of fancy next gen stuff is a little bit out of my league at this point. I'm really just kind of looking for a payroll system to manage everything I've got to do. And so this is great, but if I have to buy all these bells and whistles, I don't know that I need all that.
I'm glad you brought that up. So we know a lot of times in our industry, it's kind of a all or nothing system.
Yeah.
That's not how Paycom works. We know that sometimes you don't need everything. I think Jay mentioned to me that you were interested in still keeping Mass 100 as your accounting service, using Paycom for payroll. We can definitely do that. We like to say that we have an a la carte service. So if you want to just do payroll, we can definitely work to do that. You would only have your payroll. And last time I met with John and I put him through this this trial run, I brought my IT guy in with me.
Okay.
And he kind of talked us through how we can make the system work, Paycom, while you're still using Mass 100. We can do that flawlessly to meet that need for you.
Okay, that's good. Well, I'll circle up with John and make sure that sounds good. But if they can talk to each other, that works. Yeah,
they can definitely do that.
Okay,
yeah.
Good deal.
So are there any other concerns? You're looking at the system and I mentioned it's a single database, getting out with those servers so you can bring that ping pong table in, build that family aspect. Are there any other things you want touched on? Yeah,
I mean, so I told you initially, I'm a bottom line kind of guy. I'm thinking about the health of the business here, and you even led with it, right? We're talking about the freeing up my time half marathon. I don't see how this is going to get me any more time in the gym, or what it's going to do for my bottom line. It looks awesome. I bet if we rolled this out, people would think it was fancy. But I'm thinking money and time, and I'm just not seeing it yet.
Let's talk about money and time.
Okay.
So tell me, on average, how long do you think your company spends on payroll? Between your employees putting in their hours manually, your payroll people writing up the checks, how much time do you think?
Oh man, countless hours. We have people whose full-time job is dedicated to payroll. So from that standpoint, you're talking hundreds of hours. Yeah.
So what we've seen from our own clients that have used this program and from our system, is that Paycom has helped our clients to reduce the number of hours they spend by 50% on payroll. Let's say 50%, that's what, maybe 8 hours.
Okay.
That's a whole workday.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
a whole workday you could do something else for. You could dedicate that day to some team bonding within the office, some opportunities for you to grow, maybe a day for volunteering.
Okay.
That's what you can do at that time. So allow the system to reduce the number of hours that you're putting into the system. You say you put countless hours.
Sure.
We want to reduce that. We want to be able to count the hours so
Right.
we know actually how much you're putting into it.
Okay, so I do get that. It
Okay.
seems like it would free up some time for John and maybe even Jay, but
Mhm.
I'm still not really seeing how it's going to impact my bottom line.
Yeah, let's talk about the bottom line. So you want to be cost efficient, right? And I also mentioned that you don't have to get the full package. You can just get what you want to pay for. So just payroll. So let's see, what do you do, bi-weekly pay or?
Yeah, we pay our employees bi-weekly, yes.
Okay. So what do you currently think you pay on your payroll?
If I had to guess, it's somewhere $10+ per employee per pay cycle. Yeah.
Okay, so the way that Paycom does, we do about $3.50 per employee per payroll.
Okay.
So let's say you're paying them twice a month. That's $7 per employee per month.
Sure.
Already, we've got $3 in cost savings, right?
That's pretty basic right there. Yeah.
Pretty
I
basic,
can get
yeah.
with those numbers, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So look, you're doing a great job. I love this. Great sales presentation. Thank you for being so prepared. I gotta be honest, look, you guys know Petra's been in this community for years.
Yes.
Chad Richardson runs in my circle, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the most well-known guys in the city. I
Yes.
see him out at events. We shake hands. We breeze by each other. Mutual respect. He's never even asked for my business. And now here we are years later, and he's, no offense, sending in his sales reps to come sell me on something that he could have pitched me at church. He could have talked to me in the community. We volunteer together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've worked hard to get to where I am, and I think I deserve to have a CEO come in here and sit down and talk to me about his company. And the fact that he's not willing to do that means he must not really want my business.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Our CEO, he focuses on building relationships before we even get to business. So you said you're in these same settings with him, you volunteer with him, you've been to these events with him, but he's not pitched the business because he wants to build the relationship first. He didn't tell me to come here. I sought you all out and I saw the opportunity for growth. And I saw how Petra is similar in growth to how Paycom is just within our own community of Oklahoma. We've seen this community grow because of both of our organizations, the growth and the dedication that we have put into the organization, into the community. So I'm glad you mentioned he didn't come to pitch to you. That's because he doesn't want to pitch to you for the simple reason that he wants to build relationships first. And that has allowed me the opportunity to get to know your company and to get to know you all. I've really appreciated coming into this office. So that is the reason I would say. But I can tell you that moving forward, we will have the opportunity to bring in our CEO and to have those conversations with you.
Okay, I kind of get that. I like it. So it's a mutual respect kind
Mutual respect, exactly.
Get that. Okay.
So let's kind of talk about moving forward. You know, we want to see this relationship build. We've had conversations. I've had conversations with all of y'all, but we want to see this relationship build. So I already mentioned we can work with Mass 100 and go ahead and put you in for Paycom for your payroll. So how about we go ahead and set up that system for you all? I've already got the test.
Why don't you go ahead and draw up the paperwork and get that over to me? And as long as you can have Chad give me a call to tell me he's looking for me to join the Paycom family, I think we can probably work something out.
I can do that.
Yeah.
So what I will do right after this meeting, I will work up that paperwork for you, send that over, and we can definitely build that relationship with Chad. That will happen.
And I expect some seats at the Thunder game.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
We got you on that one.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's been great. Thanks for the presentation.
Thank
I appreciate it.
Oh.
You got your stuff there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. You know, I got a good luck on that half marathon. Amy, I'll run with you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Come in.
Can I ask for feedback?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, you nailed it. It was even better than yesterday. You were super well prepared. You overcame every rejection. That was flawless. That was one of the best presentations I've seen. I don't have negative feedback for you.
Okay.
We'll put their heads together, but we'll give it to you after we're all done. So we can be fair to everybody. You did great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
I'm obsessed with it. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come in.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. It's great to finally meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you
Hit the
too.
odds with Paycom.
Come on in, Haley.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah,
to meet
not
with
a
me
problem. Not a problem. How's it going?
today. Good. Great.
Yeah.
So I know you have your annual golf tournament, Hope and One golf tournament coming up.
Yeah,
Next-
yeah. We're hoping for some good things, but we'll
Next-
see.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I am. Yeah, I'm a horrible golfer, but I like to get out and have some fun, drink some beers. So yeah.
Right. And I know last year you raised $120,000 for kids get run the world.
Yeah. I think we did something really great.
Yeah. What's your goal for this year?
Obviously, to exceed that, right? I mean,
Right.
We got to do better than we did last year. So I don't know. We'll see how good it goes.
Absolutely. And I know you'll be able to exceed that goal, specifically with the great culture that Petra has. And so it's very exciting to see y'all do that next month.
Good.
And speaking of goals, I was able to actually sit down with Jenny and talk to her about her HR goals and with Jay about his CFO goals.
Oh, Jay, what a character.
Yes. And so today I would love to get to know more of your goals for this company.
Sure.
And your as an individual as well. And so in order to make sure the implementation process fits Petra's needs, is there anyone else that needs to be in this action plan?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, if you get me on board, we're good to go. But implementation seems way far off. I don't even know if I'm sold on what you guys got here. So
Great. Well, to recap what Jenny and I discussed, she's looking to increase her time to do more strategic work through simplified steps on her team. And we walked through how Paycom is able to do this through the single-based database.
Yeah.
And with the CFO, with Jay, we discussed factors that distinguish cost and efficiency. And we have found savings over $100,000 that could be reinvested to make Petra public, which aligned with what he was trying to do
yeah.
in our last call.
Yep.
And so today I would love to discuss your goals for Petra and how we can make this all possible.
Sure.
So the first thing I would love to discuss, are there any pieces of my conversation that you would love to unpack with Jenny and Jay that I kind of touched on?
Yeah, Jenny kind of told me this would be great for her in HR, and I think that's fine. I don't even really know what they do over there. I'm very keen on understanding how we're going to save money and impact the bottom line. Jay seemed to be relatively supportive of what you guys are doing, so I want to hear about that. And then whatever else you got to talk about, yeah, it'd be great.
Great. So I will go ahead and touch on some of the cost savings here,
Okay.
just so you're able to see it for yourself.
Sure.
So from the information I gathered with Jenny, I went ahead and wrote up a quote for Petra.
Okay.
So we have the number of Petro employees. You have around 1,000 employees.
Sure.
And you have 2 pay periods
Correct.
per month. So a total of 24 throughout the whole year.
Yep.
We have a base price of $50, and with Paycom's price per employee, you all fall into the $1.25 range for employees,
Okay.
meaning it would be a $30,000 investment. Now, currently, Jay had mentioned that y'all have invested $500,000 within the past 5 years,
Oh my God! Don't remind me.
which is an insane amount of money. And so right here, we worked out the numbers, and you would be saving about $4,000 per pay period per pay period. So about $8,000 per month,
Sure. Okay.
which is about over $100,000 a year, which is where the cost savings comes in.
Okay.
And with you and Jay's goals of taking this company public, Jay was very, very excited about this. To be able to reinvest that money.
I see why. Yeah, that's impactful.
So how do you feel, or how do you see digital transformation improving growth as a company?
Yeah, I mean that's the way we're going. Everything is moving digital, right? I think giving our employees access to be able to manage some of their own functions would be ideal. But I got to be honest, there's a lot. I still have a lot of concerns about that whole concept. So.
Absolutely. What are some of those concerns?
Well, first and foremost, I've heard that this is some sort of online system, right? It involves, the web or something like that. And it makes me uncomfortable. I know Jay, he probably told you he's had his identity stolen before. I hear people say things, it can't be hacked, right? The CIA got hacked. So obviously your guys' software has some gaps that can probably be exploited. And thinking about that makes me uncomfortable putting my employees' information online. So.
Right. And so to clarify, your concern is that you're scared of a security breach.
Yeah, we're going to get our employees' information stolen, right?
That's not correct. Actually, with Paycom, we have built our system organically. And so Chad Richardson, our CEO, actually came in and he has had security standards in place, firewalls in place that change every 6 months to ensure that security cannot be breached. And with that, we have received several awards throughout the years to make sure those security standards are in place.
I didn't know they gave out awards for security. That's interesting.
We have never been hacked.
Okay. Yeah. That's what they all say. It sounds all right. Tell me this: if it does happen, because it could happen, do you guys have a guarantee in place or something you can do to help fix the problem once it takes place?
It wouldn't happen, but if it ever did, Paycom takes care of that.
Okay.
And we cover the cost of everything.
I would need that put into any contract that I sign. So.
Okay. We could definitely do that.
Okay.
Are there any other questions you have with the security?
No. For now, take your word on it. We'll have to have our IT team look at it, but we can move forward.
Okay. Are there any other goals you have moving forward into this digital transformation?
I don't think so. I'm not a big, just like Jay, I'm not a big fan of change, right? I mean, I still use the same flip phone that I've had for 15 years. So, no, I mean, if you could show me some cost savings and make sure you're taking care of my employees, I think we'll be in a good space. I need to know a little bit more about Paycom too. I'll be honest, I treat this place like a family, and I don't let anybody in that I don't believe has the same values that we do. So from a company standpoint, I just need to get a little more familiar with how Paycom operates.
Absolutely. So I would love to give you an overview of Paycom, what we can do for Jenny, and dive into a little bit more of the cost savings for Jay.
Sure.
And all become one big family,
Okay,
like you said.
Let's do it.
So with Paycom, our story is Chad Richardson. He started off in sales, actually. He found this to be a hassle for HR. So what this is what your current system looks like. So what Jenny had mentioned is that right now she is spending time inputting employees into each one of these various databases because nothing's talking to each other.
Yeah, she's always running around
Yeah.
losing passwords, trying to figure out how to log into stuff. It's a mess. Yeah.
She spends 40 hours a week, so her full-time job is payroll.
Yeah.
And so with Paycom, we are able to decrease payroll into 1.5 hours. So she would have 38 extra hours to do more strategic HR work.
Wow. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, and so, and even Jay was saying that she could be on a growth team to open up new warehouses and distributors in other states.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're talking.
And so we're talking about growth of the company.
Sure.
And so Chad Richardson found this to be a problem, and so he came and he started Paycom. And what this is the digital transformation that we've been talking about. So when you onboard an employee, that is one time you are inputting their information. If an employee gets married, that's one time you are changing their name, and it speaks to each other. It's getting integrated into this entire system.
Okay.
And as you grow, because this system is web-based, it can cross over states.
Oh wow. Okay.
So if you are looking to move to other states,
Always looking to grow. Yeah.
if you're going public, that is an automatic growth that you're gonna.
I'm just thinking out loud, but when you describe that, it seems like it would be easier if there was a way that our employees could just manage their own stuff. Like you said, name changes. Goodness gracious, Jenny can't keep up with all that. If there was a way for them to just go in and change their own name, that'd be awesome. You might want to take that back and see if Chad can work on that.
Yeah, and there is already.
Oh wow.
We actually have an employee app, which I brought with me today, and I'm logging into it right now.
This is that app I've been hearing about. Okay. Jay was telling me about this.
Yes. So employees actually do have their own empowerment with our system. They're able to clock in when and wherever they are.
Yeah.
So if you have a sales task that is traveling, they can clock in through their phone. There are geofencing locators that managers have already pre-approved.
Okay. So no one can log in from the other side of the world.
Right. They can't just log in.
Okay.
There is some honesty and trust factors that come into this.
Okay.
Time off requests. If you have a part-time employee that is sick, they can offer up their shifts to other individuals.
Sure.
And that just saves time with the managers. The managers just they get a notification, approve, and it moves forward.
Okay.
Information. They can go in and change their own information. If you have a lady who gets married, changes her last name, that's an easy fix on here.
Yeah.
HR doesn't have to go in and mess around with that. That it will automatically get updated into her payroll.
Sure.
And into her report center.
Okay. That seems like a time savings right there. I like it.
Are there any questions about employee empowerment?
No, I think I did not know that was possible. Wow, you guys are really ahead of the curve on this. This is awesome.
Is this something that you can see being a great fit for Petra, especially in the employee development values that I was reading about on your website?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take us a while to get this communicated to them, but ultimately, once we give them that app, I think most of the people everyone's always got their cell phone on them anyway, so why not give them the app on the phone? You guys are genius. I love it.
That'd be awesome. So I know that your fiscal year started in February.
Yeah.
And we can actually get this ball rolling and get 10 out of those 12 months. We can get it implemented April 1st.
Yeah.
If this is something you're interested in, do I have your blessing to go ahead and work with your staff members in implementing this process?
Wait a minute here. So you're saying that we would have to manage the implementation? Like,
No.
What do you need? My whole IT team, or what are you talking about?
I just need your blessing. I have my implementation team and myself would come in and we would do all the trainings.
Okay.
We could work with your IT team if that would make you feel more comfortable in getting the app set up on all the company computers or on the phones that your employers
I'm
have.
scared there. So you guys will handle it.
We handle this, yes.
Okay,
So sorry for
I'm a
that.
little worried about that. I'll be honest with you. I think you're doing a great job in your presentation. I appreciate the time. Jay's been complimentary of your sales pitch to him. But look, I live in Oklahoma City. I'm in and around the Edmond area. I bump into Chad probably every other week at some, fundraiser, philanthropic event. Great guy. We've chatted a number of times. I didn't talk to him on the golf course a couple weeks ago, and I was waiting for him to pitch me on Paycom because I've heard about you guys and nothing. You know what I mean? Just great conversation, friendly, we grabbed a drink, and then nothing. So as much as I appreciate your time, CEO to CEO, I deserve the respect to have Chad come sit in here and explain to me why his company deserves my business. And the fact that he's not willing to do that, it's almost like a slap in the face. So.
And so to clarify, y'all are friends, and
you know each other pretty well. Yeah.
And you feel like you deserve respect for a CEO to pitch his own product.
I mean, look,
to you.
Paycom and Petra are like the two biggest companies out here. Why wouldn't he just come
Right.
and talk to me about his own company instead of, sending his sales team to come do that?
Right. And with that, I would love to either schedule another meeting with him. I think he was just trying to respect the friendship side of this with you, and didn't want to bring business into the friendship, which is something that I can actually respect about him,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to use just your friends for your business, and I think he wanted to make those lines very clear with you. From my point of view, I know that this can help Petra and save y'all over $100,000 a year by implementing Paycom. So I'm here to work with Petra, and I think he was just trying to make sure those friendship lines are clear between y'all. Since y'all do go golfing and you have dinner with each other, and he did mention to me actually last week that you had mentioned a little bit about the digital transformation and that you were interested. So he actually put me on this case because he didn't want to draw those lines.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You understand? So I think there's just a little bit of miscommunication there with him. But I actually did have that conversation last week with him, and he had mentioned that Petra could use Paycom and it could be a very beneficial thing for y'all.
Okay. Well, the fact that he's thinking about us makes me feel better,
Yeah.
but I think it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I don't know that I'm going to be comfortable moving forward until I get to sit down with Chad and at least look him in the eyes and know that we've got a good partnership.
Well, I would love to bring him in. Maybe I could go ahead and get your blessing, and we could schedule a meeting with him to sit down before we implement it next week.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we have a meeting with Chad? If things sound good, then we can maybe talk about next steps after that.
Okay. Does a meeting on Tuesday at 9 a.m. sound good?
I can do
We can
Tuesday
sit down.
at 9.
We can bring in Chad, and I can even bring in maybe my partner who would be helping implement it as well.
Yeah, bring what you got, and we'll continue the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you today?
I'm good. You all right?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Got a lot of stuff there.
I know. This is a lot of stuff.
Thanks so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I have 3 minutes. I can get feedback.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't even know that.
I thought you did a good job. I
Okay.
thought that you initially came in and just the initial opening seemed a little bit nervous right out the gate. But once you settled in, it was smooth sailing after that.
Yeah.
I thought you did a good job overcoming all the objections until that last one. I was going to give you the opportunity to get past it, but when you came right out, like, well, I'll just bring Chad in. I think you could have worked a little harder to get over that and actually close that deal. Because I was going to give it to you if you fought for it.
Okay.
But beyond that, I thought you overcame the other objections well. I thought your needs assessment was great. You made great eye contact and great communication presence. The materials that you brought were all great too. You used those well to demonstrate. So I thought you overcame all those objections. It was just literally that last one that we got a little hung up on. And if you just wouldn't have said that right out the gate, you could have still worked around it. But once you gave me that, well, I'll just bring Chad next week, I was going to zero in on that. So that was the only piece of feedback I'd give you to work on is that last objection and then close that deal.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise, very well prepared.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the time you put into this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Y'all have any feedback for me?
We'll circle up with all you guys at the end.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're just
you're
gonna
welcome.
get ready first.
Thank you.
We good so far? Yeah. Okay, I'll be a couple minutes before we start the next one.
Okay.
Anytime.
Is this recording the whole time? So when they come in to get feedback, should I like step off to the side? No, it's okay. Okay. Good.
Are you guys about ready? I'm gonna wait until I get everybody, so I only have to run one timer, so
Oh,
just 1 minute.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. Bill?
Yes.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks
I'm
for coming
Claire
out.
Herman with Paycom.
Hey, Claire, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Yeah, no
You know
problem.
what? I love your state. Don't love your weather.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm not from here, but I've been here for a while.
Yeah,
so.
where are you from?
I'm all over, but originally East Coast guy.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I was in North Carolina
Okay.
for a while.
What part?
I was in near Raleigh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I got family in Charlotte. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love it out there.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for meeting with me today.
Mhm.
I hope that Jay and John have all said good things about
Yes.
Paycom.
So far, so good.
So I want to give you a little bit of an objective or an agenda,
Okay.
and then from there we can proceed forward. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Alrighty, but before we get started, I know Jay and John have talked to you, but are there any clarifications you need or any things you want to make sure we're discussing today?
No, I think we're good. I mean, John told me this is transforming the HR space, and I don't even know what that means. But Jay seemed complimentary as well, and I think there might be some opportunity for us. So I told him I'd take the meeting and see what you got.
Absolutely. So today I'm going to give you the objective of Paycom.
Okay.
We're going to learn more about your value system at Petra
Sure.
and see if they match. And then lastly, we'll talk a little bit about Paycom. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Alrighty, so the objective of Paycom is that we realize how valuable your people are. They are your long-term investment, and we want them to succeed.
Okay.
We are a value-driven organization, and just like a family takes commitment and investment, we invest and commit to Petra.
Okay.
We are the best resource for you, and I believe strongly in the partnership that we can build together.
Okay, that's awesome.
And you know what? If you can't find value in us, kick us to the curb, and we can part as friends. How does that
Sure.
sound?
I like it. I like it. I like the value-based approach to the company. We're
Right.
the same way here, so that matters a lot to me.
Yeah, and we've looked at the product, we've looked at the price, and I really want to talk about the people now. So I want to learn some of the values that you adhere to and feel strongly about in both and applied to Petra.
Yeah, so you're looking around about 1,000 employees in Petra. I consider them all to be family. And so I'm never going to do anything that jeopardizes the well-being of my family, my work family. And so from that standpoint, we've got some business objectives we need to take care of. This sounds like something that's probably pretty cool, but honestly don't see how it fits into the strategy where I'm going with the business. So again, my business and my family is number one priority. And if y'all can tag along with that, great. If not, like you said, no big deal, you know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. So you talk about your business objective.
yeah.
What exactly is that, and where are you wanting to go?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard of Petra in the market. We're crushing
Yes,
the game
yes,
right now, and
absolutely.
we're about to go public. You know, we're
Quite
about to
impressive.
IPO in a couple weeks here, and with that, I just need to make sure that everything internally is rocking and rolling. Our systems are in good shape, and that we're supporting our employee base for that IPO push to hopefully make a boatload of money for everybody.
Absolutely. And so therefore, what are some improvements that you see in your value system that you want to improve? I know it's great right now, but what do you think could be better?
Yeah, I mean, so the frustration comes, there's a lot of manual labor, manual work related to some of our functions. I'm sure you've heard about that. Again, how it takes a lot of time to get our people paid. And so from that, it's a little frustrating. And I think that taxes people's time and makes them a little leery of their work-life balance. I hear some complaints about that. So, I mean, I guess if there was something to improve, that would be it. But again, that's more of like an organizational development push. You don't buy HR software to improve work-life balance. So, you know.
Well, we like to think we can merge the two.
Okay.
Well, we'll expand upon that in a little bit. How does this hassle and the frustration, how does that affect social capital within Petra?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if you have people working 60, 70 hours a week to do mundane tasks,
Right.
it's time they're not able to spend with their family, that they're not able to invest in their community. So the takeaway is actually rather large. It's bigger than just working extra hours. It's what you're missing out on from the rest of your life. And then I feel that too. You know, there are times where I have to jump in and do some of these mundane tasks as well because, you know, I'm going to lead from the front.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, we all just, we feel overworked at times.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't have
The time to
and
spend
the
it.
people
That's
to
right.
enjoy it with, which, I mean, we want you to increase the quality of life.
Okay.
So I want to just clarify some of the things that Jenny and Jay talked about, and if you need to put in any input,
Sure.
stop me at any time. So
Sure.
with Jenny, we talked about how the human resource side and how it's helping people. So you mentioned some of the frustrations of the people, how they're having to do mundane, mind-numbing tasks,
Yes.
which is taking away from the time that they're able to spend with their family, with being able to spend use the hard work to increase their quality of life. Is that right?
That's right.
And then with Jay, we focused a lot on the financial side
Yeah.
about how you're spending around $500,000 a year with Sage, which is crazy. And we crunched the numbers, and I can show you if you'd like to see it. We looked at Paycom would be about $31,000 a year.
Yeah. Okay.
As opposed to $500,000. So I have a question for you, and that is if we can improve your efficiency, increasing the quality of life of your employees
Sure.
while cutting your costs, is that something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I mean, if you could do all those things, I would call you a miracle worker. But I think I'd be open to that discussion
Right,
for sure.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And do you have any questions yet or concerns that you want answered before we jump into what Paycom can do for you?
I mean, I'm a skeptic, so I don't really believe it's possible, but I don't have any questions at the moment, no.
Absolutely. So I like to be able to back up what I'm saying.
Good.
But I really want to touch on how Paycom is a value-driven organization,
Okay.
why we do what we do, and we want you to succeed. And both, not only on the financial side, because you're doing that very well, and we can even increase that by cutting around $400,000 out a year. But we also want to make sure that you're having the high quality of life, that your social capital within your company is expanding, and that you're growing together and creating a harmonious yet lethally competitive environment.
I like that.
Paycom can do that.
I
You want
love
to hear
it.
how?
Yeah, tell me more. I love
Alrighty.
that.
So you mentioned some of the concerns is you want to make sure your system is cutting edge technology. You want to make sure you're being efficient. You want to make sure you're about to go IPO, so you're about to have this huge, massive change, and you want to make sure everything is running smoothly and sharp.
Correct.
But right now, there's some things that are holding you back.
Yes.
And we want to address that because we want your team to succeed, and we want your company to succeed, and we want to share the value system because Paycom fits under your value system. Ready to see how?
Yeah, bring it on.
All right, absolutely. So I know Jenny and Jay have talked to you about what Paycom does is that we consolidate human resource, talent acquisition, which is under human resource, and payroll all into one simple software or technology software program.
Yeah.
I can pull it up on my phone right here.
So wait, I'm going to stop you
Yeah,
right there.
absolutely.
You're
Please
pulling
do.
this thing up on the web, right? This is
Yes.
like a web-based situation. Jay was telling me about that.
Mhm.
Did he tell you about how he got his identity stolen not too long ago?
He did,
Yeah.
and
So you just got to think about, from that standpoint, that was a train wreck. And Jay's good. I mean, he makes a boatload of money, so he'll be fine. Most of my employees here don't. And if that happened to them, it would devastate their world. And knowing that everything gets hacked these days, if you guys are bringing me something that's online, I'm not putting my employees' information on the internet so that everyone can steal it. I mean, that just sounds like a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to make sure that we're connecting the dot that you want to protect your people, you want to protect them from getting hacked and getting their assets and identity stolen. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right. Well, we have the latest and greatest technology safety protocols in place. We have the ISO 27001 certification. We have hacking where if someone tries to hack the system, we get notifications. But guys, I want to bring you back to the value. We value the identity and the assets of your employees. We value who they are and what they are able to become. And because of that, we strive to protect them at every single level. And we have encryption software that protects the information that is going back and forth because we want to protect your people.
So
Does
you guys
that
have-
answer your
I mean,
concern?
you guys have clearly thought this thing through. So I'm a worst case scenario guy. If something
Absolutely.
goes wrong, are there some guarantees in there where you guys will, fix the problem or get us some LifeLock or do something like that?
Yeah, so we have everything backed up on the system. We are stored in the cloud. We also have backups to our backups
Yeah.
so that your information is stored and safe.
Okay. All right. As long as we can put that in the contract, I feel good about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this
Okay.
is something we'll talk about later. And speaking of contract, you obviously as the CEO are going to be signing off on this. But is there anyone else that you want to bring on?
No, I mean, this is my company. I make the decisions. I'm
All
doing
right.
like that.
Perfect. Just wanted to clarify. And so this app that I can pull up, it takes away the stress and the hassle. I was talking with Jenny, and she was talking about the 20 to 30 hours a week they're spending on payroll.
Yeah, that's intense.
And immediately this app takes it away. Feel
Okay.
free to look it up. It automatically uploads the data into the payroll system. You can see people under time management. They can clock in, they can request time off, information payroll. You have all your tax information, you have your I-9s. They can all upload that electronically, safely, of course, so that all that paperwork and hassle is eliminated. So we want your human resource team and your whole entire team to focus on strategic initiatives and not be bogged down by mundane tasks. And that's what Paycom does.
So you're saying my employees can actually enter their own time? Jenny doesn't have to do that for all of them anymore?
And she can monitor that as well. You, as Petra, can have internal controls of how your employees clock in, whether it be on the computer or on the phone. We allow you the responsibility to choose how they clock in.
That's huge. That's a game
Yeah,
changer. Wow. That's
absolutely, yeah.
Great.
And then secondly, I want to touch on the amount of money you're saving. I mean, we're businessmen. We want to use our money the most efficiently. We want to maximize the potential of every single dollar.
Yeah.
Paycom does that. We've shown you how amazing that is. If you'd like to scroll through the apps, you can see the sample paycheck. All of that is on this app.
Sure.
And the controls, we work with you to give you those to fit the needs of your people. So we're saving you upwards of $400,000 a year while making the most of every dollar you spend. How's that sounding thus far?
Sounds good, but I've been through a lot of these demos. We have companies come by here all the time and they tell me about all this savings and all that. And then when we get to implementation, it's like, yeah, don't worry. You just have to bring 87,000 IT people from your own staff and you can manage the implementation. I'm like, I don't have the resources for all that. So again, it seems like you guys are probably cheap because you don't do a lot of the work on the implementation side. And I don't know if I'm really ready to take on all that as we get ready to IPO. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of work.
And I want to make sure I'm understanding your concern is that you're afraid we're just going to throw the product on you and say, hey,
That's what you just said. You said you're gonna
Yeah.
basically, I buy this, you just give me an app and say thanks, and then my team has to figure it all out. And I mean, half of them don't even know how to log onto their own iPhone. So I'm nervous by that, and I'd rather at least wait until we're done with the IPO to think about taking on that burden. You know.
Right. So I want to address two things, and one being that when we proceed in building this partnership, we work one-on-one with you on the implementation process. It is a full integration process. It's really easy and simple to implement. But any questions you may have, we have 24/7 access, because I want to go back to our objectives. It is our value system that we want you to succeed, and we do that in whatever way possible.
Yeah.
Including the implementation of that. Does that answer your question?
Sounds good. So 24/7. I mean, I get that, but like we've all called like the cable company at 11 p.m. and you sit on hold for 4 hours until midnight. You know, and it's like I think that sounds good, but like customer service is always horrible. So am I going to be calling you, or like what's the deal with that?
So we have a Paycom representative. It's going to be one person mainly working with you, but then for that 24/7 hour access, it may be someone else. But I really would like to focus is that we're the human hand behind technology. So everyone at Paycom has dealt with poor customer service. We felt the frustrations, we cried the tears. And that's something that we don't, as Paycom, believe that we should be doing. So we implement the best customer service so that, again, your people, your team, your environment can be the best possible and reach its full potential.
It sounds like you guys have thought a lot about how to make this very employee friendly. So that actually does sound pretty good. I like that. Okay. Yeah, I like it so far. Sounds good.
Okay. And do you have any other questions or things you want to address this far?
Can I be honest with you here?
I love
yes.
Yes.
I appreciate you've been very well prepared. You're doing a great job. It sounds like you love Paycom and everything that you're doing right now. I'm a CEO of this business. I've been in this community for 20, 30 years. I rub elbows with Chad all the time. We see him, I golf with him sometimes. We do fundraisers. We're on a couple boards together. And we've had opportunities to have these conversations for the last 4 or 5 years. And he's always bragging about how awesome Paycom is. Never once has he asked me for my business. He's never pitched me. He's never even set up a freaking meeting. You know what I mean? And so, again, love what you're doing here. But the fact that I wouldn't have this conversation CEO to CEO with Chad, it just tells me he's not serious about my business. So I think everything you're doing is great. But again, I deserve that more respect than to have a new sales rep at a company come out and talk to me when the CEO had the opportunity to close me on my business. So that's just how I feel.
Yeah, and I respect that, and I understand where you're coming from and how hard you've worked.
Yeah.
And I really would like to separate the product for a moment. Let's separate everything. You're agreeing with it. You're seeing the value it can provide for you and your company from Chad. Can we do that for a second?
Sure, I'll play the game.
So, absolutely. So we really, at the end of the day, you are value driven. You want what is best for your organization.
I do.
Right?
Yes.
And therefore, you would set aside any differences in order to achieve what's best. And if there are any concerns you have with Chad, I'd love to set up a meeting between you two so you can address any of these concerns that you're feeling, because if you're feeling these things and we want them to resolve, because we want you to see the heart of who we are. And if you've had a poor experience, Paycom would like to remedy that so that we can move forward. So again, you and your team can be successful.
Yeah.
Does that address your concern?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do, and you're right that I would do anything that's best for my business. I guess if you're saying the next steps then would be to sit down with Chad and just have him tell me face to face that he wants my business. Is that what you're saying?
What I would like to do in this meeting is I would like to see if Paycom is something that your business is interested in, because as a family, we want our value systems match. We value and cherish your value systems, and we want to be an extension of your family. So the objective of this meeting is to see if that is viable, if that's cost benefit analysis. We've shown the benefit at a very, very small cost.
Yeah.
We want to proceed forward and to welcome you into our family and for you to welcome us into yours, so we can build that lasting partnership and legacy to make you successful.
Okay. Yeah. When you put it that way, doing what's best for the employees is what matters to me. I think I can separate my beef with Chad. We'll knock this out over, a glass of whiskey later tonight. And I think we should
Beat
be
him on
good.
the golf course.
Yeah, we can handle that. You've clearly demonstrated that this is what's best for my business. So yeah, I think I owe it to my employees to talk next steps.
Alrighty. Well, we'll set up a meeting to talk about how we can partner together. How does next Tuesday sound?
Yeah, that should be great.
All right, Bill, I look forward to this partnership that we are building together so that you and your team will be successful. I know you're going to do great things and we're elevating you to the next level. So thank you for meeting with me. And
All
I really
right.
look forward
So I'll
to
see
what
you
we
on
can
Tuesday
achieve.
to wrap this up.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
you have
so
a great
much.
day
You
now.
do the same. Are we good? I guess, yeah. Go for it. Just let them know that you're running out so they don't send anyone in. Good.
Okay, we're ready to run the last one.
All right, let's do it. Come in. Come in.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good deal.
Matt Furry from Paycom.
Hey, how you doing, man? Nice to meet
Great.
you.
I'm so glad that I'm finally going to get a chance to meet you today.
Heard a lot about you, man.
I've heard great things about you as well.
Good deal.
So, I mean, from the last meeting with Jay, she said that we had roughly 15 minutes today. I
Yeah.
know that you're extremely busy and your time is very valuable, and I respect that. So 15 minutes with us to work for you today?
Yeah, I can make that work.
Our stop at 15. You know what? I got you. So just to start off, I kind of want to run through a little agenda, kind of what I have planned for today.
Okay.
Roughly, first, to know a little bit about you. Secondly, kind of to go over where me and Jayla left off on it about pricing, cost, whatnot, and a little bit about the kind of the issues that you had with Sage 100 and how kind of went over that efficiency and some of the call specialists.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, about how kind of Paycom can help that. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them. How does that sound?
Sounds good, man. Let's do it.
All right, great. So, I mean, I asked John and then Jay kind of what they had plans. They got boating in the summer, going to the Caribbean. How about you? Do you have any big plans?
A couple family vacations, man, but that's really it. I'm invested in getting this business public, so just
Definitely.
working hard, man. Just working hard.
If you don't mind me asking, where y'all going?
We actually have a Caribbean trip planned too.
Uh-huh.
And then we're planning a New Zealand trip, getting on the other side of the world for a little bit, man.
New Zealand. That'll be neat.
Yeah.
Haven't had a chance to get over there. Yeah, this summer I got a little Turks and Caicos trip planned.
Okay. It's a nice place.
Yeah, so I'm definitely pretty excited about that.
Good deal, man.
Great. Well, if it's all right with you, do you mind if I kind of review a little bit about where me and Jay left off?
Yeah, catch me up. Jay told me a little bit about this, but jog my memory.
All right, great. So just to start off with the pricing, Sage was doing about $1.35 per employee for y'all, and she said that y'all had 750 employees
Yeah.
with growth expected. And then also here we were talking about, so y'all were Walmart's 2017 biggest supplier. Just want to say congratulations on that. I mean, that is a huge feat. Oh, yeah, definitely. And along with that, the Master 28 Distributor Award. So y'all are up and coming. I mean, y'all have grown significantly since 1980s.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I just want to say congrats on that, and I hope to only see y'all flourish more.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely. So along with that, so the cost, let's get back to that. So right now, y'all are paying $48,032 annually. And when I crunch the numbers from Paycom standpoint on what we could bring to the table for y'all, it'd be $22,550. And Jay was very analytical, so she loved kind of hearing that side of it about how we just chopped the price in half. And that seemed very important to her. But I didn't get a chance to ask her, why would that be important? Where could you see that money going into? Maybe what aspect of the business?
Yeah, so we've got some strategic growth initiatives. Like I told you, we're going to go public. When we do that, we'd like to expand into other markets. We'd like to get into some more downstream activities as well. So opening up new business units. And I think all that requires capital. And if we could, we'd like to not have to, borrow money or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of use the money we've got currently to pursue those initiatives. So that's where the push to free up some capital comes from.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And how does that kind of make you feel that you can just think of paying like half of what you're paying now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been a CEO for a long time. It sounds too good to be true, man.
Sounds too good to be true.
Yep.
Well, I would like to show you today that hopefully I can show you that it is true. And along with that, so going public, that sounds like it is huge. That is opportunity, and I'm very excited for y'all to go ahead and do that. And I mean, over 5 years, you're looking at $100,000 with capital just to go and into these new markets like you're talking about. Would that be something that you'd be interested in?
I mean, of course, yeah, that's good money.
Of course, great. And then another thing Jay also had mentioned was kind of a call specialist issue that y'all are having trouble getting in touch with Sage 100. Have you heard anything along the lines of that?
Yeah, I hear my team running around complaining all the time. I think what it is a couple things. I mean, customer services is
Definitely.
pretty much garbage everywhere. You call someone, you wait in a phone tree, they bounce you around to someone else, you get a human on the phone, and then they have no idea what your problem is, and you have to explain it to them. Then 2 days later, go through that whole process again. And so we're looking for companies as suppliers that mirror our values, that take care of people, put people first, and don't waste time with these endless processes. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of our frustration on that, man.
Well, I definitely concur, and I can see why that is so frustrating. From you to bounce from one person to another just to try to get one simple answer. Well, at Paycom, what we do here is we give you a designated call specialist. So from the specialist, we don't bounce you from back and forth line going through that phone tree. We give you a direct number to a direct person who is very updated to your company and is just your So what I mean by that is whenever you call them, you're going straight to them. We're not going to beat around the bush and have you sitting around waiting. We know that your time is valuable, so we are going to get you straight down to the point, get you that answer that you're looking for.
Yeah. I like that concept.
Sound
Sounds
good?
very customer centric, but I would assume you do all that because you guys have issues with your software all the time and have to have this robust customer service program. Is that it? It's like a troubleshooting department.
I'm actually really glad that you brought that up. That's kind of a common concern that we get because we do take so much pride in our customer service
Sure.
that from the payroll aspect, but it turns out that we are just able to manage both. We've been successful with it thus far.
Okay. Good deal. Well, I like the customer centric viewpoint. So yeah, tell me more, man.
Yeah, so about the customer centric viewpoint, or what part exactly?
Just in general about what you guys got to offer here. Let's talk about it.
So, I mean, from the payroll side, like I said earlier, we're able to save you X amount of money.
Okay.
And I kind of want to go back and shoot with, you're talking about values.
Yep.
Are values something very important to you?
Incredibly, man. You look around here, you saw what I built from the
Oh,
ground
yeah.
up. These 750 people think of me as like the patriarch of a family, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm never going to do anything, no matter how much it saves money or anything, never going to jeopardize the well-being of my work family here. Yeah.
I completely agree, and you would do nothing of the sort, I would believe. And at Paycom, we are definitely family-oriented as well, I can assure you. Also, when I was looking, y'all like to give back a lot, so I would like to believe that the family, it extends further out than just Petra. It goes out into the community.
Absolutely.
Y'all have given back to Mercy Multiplied, to the OKC Marathon, Big Heart Alliance. Y'all definitely do a lot of charity work, which I'm very glad to hear that because at Paycom, we like to do the same.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're actually involved in a few, and didn't y'all just host? It was that long ago. Y'all had an annual golf tournament, and you finally reached that goal of $1 million.
That's right. Yeah, we're proud of that.
Very awesome. Yeah, so we do a few things here at Paycom, from coat drives to Salvation Army. So we do like to give back to our extended family as well.
That's good. That's important.
Great. So, if I may ask, what other values more specifically would you like to see married that Sage 100 hasn't been able to do for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sage, it just requires a good amount of manual input, right, in terms of actually inputting information in the system. It eats up my HR people's time. But I'll be honest with you, I mean, I leave most of that to Jay, and he's adverse to change. We don't really like to change a whole lot around here, so it could probably be a little bit better, but it's worked for us for years, and that's just kind of where we are right now.
I got you. Yeah, so change, I mean, it can definitely be the hard thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. But if I may ask, can you tell me an experience about where you have experienced some trouble with change specifically?
Just getting our employees on board to do things differently. They're so set in their ways that a lot of it is basically in the HR department. They're used to being the solvers of all these problems. We've got a lot of people whose jobs are based on that. And so we've kind of formed our business around some of the issues we've had with our software, and we're able to make it work the best we can.
Make it work the best we can.
Yeah.
Well, I want y'all to run most efficient to the optimal standard as possible. So from the HR standpoint, you're saying tracking hours, or how are we looking to be more efficient?
Yeah, so one of the things that we run into is we have just a regular punch card for our employees to come in, and we've got a couple guys on our A crew that I swear come in and punch in for their whole crew. And then the rest of the guys show up an hour later, but they've been getting paid the whole time. And so I'm paying out money for people that aren't even in the building, and I don't know who's clocked in and who's not, and it just seems like a nightmare. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really worry too much about that, but I know the HR department is up in arms trying to get that problem solved.
I'm hearing you guys. So just kind of what I'm hearing correctly is what I like to call buddy punching, where we're like Ricky clocking it for Bobby or something like that, and they're doing that.
Right.
Yeah, so if I was able to kind of show you a way to eliminate that, what would that mean to you by saving all that money, and along with just having a truthful work environment where they're not capable to do that?
Yeah, I mean, the money savings would be great. The peace of mind from HR, just knowing that things are stable, would also be, that'd be awesome.
Well, let me go ahead and kind of put your mind at ease. Do you mind if I bring up my Paycom app?
No, please.
Oh, great.
I've heard a lot about this app, so let's see.
Let's get over here real quick. Okay. So go ahead and get it open. So if I go ahead and have you click on that time management button.
Sure.
Thank you. And then if you hit on the web time clock.
Okay.
Like that. And then if you hit end day. So you are now clocked in for the day. So Ricky's not going to be able to do this for Bobby. And then, so if you don't feel like this is secure enough, because you're able to do this from any smart device,
Yeah.
Apple phone, Android, computer, we also have another option, which I believe would be a great option since you have experienced that buddy punching problem.
Yep.
We call it a biometric clock. So what it does is it actually captures your fingerprint. So you just place the fingerprint on there, and then the next person can come around, and that's how you clock in and out for the day. So it's going to be pretty hard to get that finger from Ricky. I mean, to get on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, man. That's good.
All right, great. So do you think that could put your HR from that standpoint, their minds at ease?
I do. I think that would help, but I don't think I'm probably ready to pull the trigger on anything just to support HR. I mean, honestly, Jenny and the HR department, they don't work that hard as it is, so they could probably figure all this out. But I do think this would solve their problem. I would just need to see some more wins out of the software to feel good about it. So what else can you do?
What else can I do? So so far we covered HR by giving them ease of mind.
Yep.
We covered that capital that we'll be able to give you. So from clocking hours, have they had trouble logging in hours or being able to see when they're clocked in, maybe overtime?
I don't know. I just think it's a lot of work for HR. We've got like 3 or 4 people that are managing time and attendance and all that. So it's just a lot of manual work.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
So you did say that they do have that manual clock that they're clocking in, and I'm assuming that they have to do manually transfer that maybe to Excel and take that into Sage Mass 100.
Yep.
Well, that actually brings us to a great point. So from that biometric clock that I was talking about with the fingerprint, this information, it'll go straight to y'all or straight to them, those 3 people that you're talking about at HR, where they're able to do all of it from there. So I like to call it like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Roughly it saves 2/3 time from the HR standpoint or from the payroll standpoint.
Sure.
So just not having to go and even risking that human error from tracking all these hours, we're able to just directly correlate it to your HR, for instance, since they do handle the payroll process, and then to us to Paycom, or we will cut the checks and handle the taxes for you.
Okay, so it seems pretty efficient. I mean, really, my concern, what is this going to do for my bottom line, man? How's this going to help me be more profitable?
Well, I definitely believe that from 5 years, you will have 100,000 in capital gains here to spend wherever you would like to, and then invest in whatever market you see fit for your company.
Okay.
So I mean, over the course, I only see your company growing further and further and further. So that's going to be more money that you're going to have to spend and invest and grow your family.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that. I like the idea of saving money, man.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that being said, do you have any questions about my product that you feel like I haven't covered thus far?
You just gave me a lot of heartburn when you pulled that phone out, man, I'll be honest. So, I'm old school. I still use a flip phone, and there's reasons for that. It's because the internet is where people go to get their identity stolen. So I'm sure you met, Jay told you how she got her identity stolen a couple years ago, and it's been a nightmare. She's got a boatload of money to offset all those problems. My employee base cannot handle that. And like I told you, they're like my family. So you wouldn't go out there and put, your significant other's social security number out on the internet.
Correct.
And I'm not going to do that for my 750 employees, right? So you're talking about putting all this out on the web, one system. It sounds great, but I'm not comfortable exposing my employees to, data breaches and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do it.
I completely agree with you. So if you don't mind, kind of expanding on what happened when Sage leaked that vital information, what did that do from you from a CEO standpoint, just to see if my family's getting hurt, like what do we do from this?
I'm on the phone. I'm answering questions from employees left and right. They're freaking out. I'm calling the banks to make sure everything's good there. It was a nightmare, and that's what I can't take the risk of that happening again with Paycom, putting everything out on the web.
Yeah.
The CIA got hacked a couple years ago, so obviously you guys are hackable, and I can't run that risk again.
Well, I'm really glad that you brought that up, and that is a concern for many of our clients. And how I like to go about explaining this is we do have a 256-bit encryption, so this is the same encryption that the National Bank uses. We do code it and change it on a regular basis. We are also ISO certified, so we are held to an elite standard. Along with that, we do have a protocol where for security questions, the password will expire. You'll have to change it. So we do set measures for your associate standpoint that they can take also to make sure that we can be as secure as possible on our end as well as yours.
Okay, that sounds good. So things do happen though, right? And if something were to go wrong, you guys gonna make me whole or fix the problem, give me some LifeLock? What do you guys do if something does go wrong?
We take all that liability, and I want to take all that stress off your mind. And here at Paycom, that's what we're looking to do. So you can concentrate on your family while we will handle all the burden. God forbid if there is any.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Cool. All right, that makes me feel a lot better. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you have any more questions that I could kind of tackle here?
Yeah, so I do have one more big question, and honestly, I don't think you can tackle it, man. So let me tell you this: you look like a rock star sales rep. It's like you love working for Paycom. You're real well put together. I'm the CEO of this business. I've built this business here in this community from the ground up, and Chad has done the same thing with Paycom. I see him all the time. We're volunteer together. We donate to the same charities, all that.
Of course.
We've actually golfed together. We've had drinks, family together, and not once has he had he just hasn't come to me and said, "Can I have your business?" He's never sat down with me and told me how important Petra would be to Paycom. And then I turn around and he's sending out sales reps to come in and sell me like I'm some regular average client, and it pisses me off, man. So as much as this sounds like it could work for our business, and it does, you just laid out a great business case, but I'm upset, man, and I don't understand why Chad wouldn't be here to tell me how much I can be a part of the Paycom family.
Well, he definitely wants you to become part of our family as much as he wants to become of yours. And
why wouldn't he just tell me that?
He sends one of his trusted, beloved, good friends, myself, out to talk to you today.
Okay.
He's been wrapped in some family issues at the moment, so that's why we're here talking. But I can assure you that you are uttermost very important to him.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, just the fact that he hasn't had the time or the care to pitch me about his business, I don't think I can get past that, man. From a CEO to CEO, I feel like I deserve to have him sit here and tell me why I should join the Paycom family.
I can understand definitely, where you're coming from. He has stuff again with his family, and he's just dealing with on that side. So that's just kind of why he sent me here. But I don't see that there's a reason why I can't get him on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bother him if he's with his family. I have family issues too. It sounds like we might probably just need to wait until he gets all that squared away, have y'all come back in, and we can talk about how much it matters to him for me to join the family.
Well, I can assure you that you are that important to him where I do not mind getting him on the phone here right now, so we can go ahead and have that conversation and where he can relay his love and trust and how much he cares about Petra to you.
Yeah, if you were able to get Chad to tell me that I was a valued member of that family, I think I'd feel good about it, but I'd want him to sit down with me, and at this point, I think he needs to tell me that face to face.
All right, so definitely we would like to get Chad here. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to need that in order to move forward. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, actually, next Thursday we were going to meet, and we're going to go get some Olive Garden. Love the breadsticks. Are you a fan of the breadsticks by any chance?
Yeah. I haven't been in a while, but sure. Who doesn't like
those carbs? So would it be all right with you if I was able to go ahead and maybe get us some Olive Garden? We could have maybe a working through lunch where we could get him to sit down and y'all could face-to-face have that meeting that you were wanting.
Yeah, if you get Chad out here and he can come tell me that I'm a valued member of the business over some breadsticks, I think that would make me feel better, and then we can talk about maybe signing a deal.
Well, Thursday at noon, I know for sure that he is definitely available, and if you are, I would love for all of us to sit down.
Yeah, let's do Thursday at noon, man. That works.
Thank you so much for your time again, Bill, and I cannot wait to see you Thursday.
You got it, man. Thanks a lot for coming out.
Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
Well, that is a wrap.
It's all right, man. You did a good job, dude.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, that last objection.
Last curveball.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to get him on the phone. Like, I'm going to act like I'm talking to someone.
I do like that. That was actually.
That was.
I think to get over that objection, what I would coach you to do, because you created the need.
I've never even heard of anything.
You sold the value. If that comes up in that situation where someone says something like that, you separate the value of the product for the business with the personal relationship, and you put it back on them and say,
so smart.
hey,
Yeah.
as the CEO of a business, can't you put aside your personal relationship with Chad to do what's best for your business? And you overcome that right away, man. So just keep that in mind.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man. That's a whole different perspective. I didn't even see that.
Nah, but you're good, man. You did a good job.
So if I was able to do that, would I close with you?
Yeah, I would have closed you, man. I would have given you the deal right there.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep, no problem, man. Thanks a lot.
I am Grant Aguirre, and I am one of the directors with the Challenger Sales Institute. And we wanted to say thank you to all of our sponsors for hosting a great event, Paycom and Tech Systems. Paycom for being our naming sponsor and providing us with a great product, great demo. Tech Systems for providing us with an excellent location to host our sales competition. I want to thank all of the coaches. I know how hard it is to bring students to these events. The competitors, obviously, we wouldn't have an event without competitors, and so we are enormously grateful to all of you. I want to thank my co-directors, Stacia Wirt-Gray and Bob Kaiser, and we couldn't have done this event without help from our families, so I want to thank Travis Gray, my mother, Rebecca Luker, and Donna Kaiser for their help. We recruited our University General Counsel at the University of Central Oklahoma to coach our team, since obviously the three of us were in the know on the cases and the role plays, so he did a fantastic job. And everybody who made Challenger Sales Institute's first external competition a success. Thanks.